Who is the latest addition to this Red Sox team, and where did he come from? What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Red Seat Radio. My name is Corbin. I just want to say really quickly before we get into today's video, thank you so much for 6,000 total subscribers. If you are the first person to subscribe or you are the latest person to subscribe, you guys mean the absolute world to me. Together, we have grown one of the best Red Sox communities on YouTube, and it truly does mean the world to me that you guys support me and each other on this journey. So thank you so much for 6,000 subscribers. Anyways, one of the biggest positive takeaways so far this year for this Red Sox team has been their depth, right? The Red Sox have some of the best depth in Major League Baseball. The Red Sox have been hit with a ton of injuries this year, and I mean a ton, right? We're making a video every week talking about someone else getting hurt on this Red Sox team, but it feels like at the same time, there's always someone there to pick up the slack. Someone comes in either from the minor leagues or someone else steps up on the team or is acquired in some way, somehow, and they always seem to be able to fill the void of someone missing. And the latest addition to that list has been Pablo Reyes, who since joining this Red Sox team has been a ton of fun to watch. So we're going to do in today's videos talk about the latest depth addition to this team, Pablo Reyes. We're going to go over who he is, where he came from, and we're going to talk about what his impact on the Red Sox is looking like, plus what his impact on the Red Sox could look like later down the line. But before we get into that, do me a favor, make sure you guys have hit that subscribe and that like button. If you're new here, we talk Red Sox content almost every single day. Thank you all very much for clicking on this one. Let's get into it. So for those of you who do not know yet, Pablo Reyes was acquired by the Boston Red Sox via a trade with the Oakland Athletics for cash considerations. Basically, what the Red Sox did is they picked up the tab on Pablo Reyes' contract, which at the time of the trade was a minor league deal. But Pablo Reyes has actually been in the league for a pretty decent amount of time now. In fact, he's been a bit of a utility man in a couple of different situations throughout his time at the major league level. Pablo Reyes debuted in 2018 with the Pittsburgh Pirates at 24 years old, where he played in 18 games of the 2018 season. During those 18 games, he hit .293 with a .349 on base percentage, a .483 slug, and an .832 OPS, which was a 127 OPS plus, meaning that he was about 27% more productive than the average player in baseball in his first couple of games at the major league level. He then played one more year with the Pittsburgh Pirates that wasn't as good as that first sample size, and then moved on to the Milwaukee Brewers, where he played a similar bench utility role for them as well. During those 2 seasons with Milwaukee, he had a .258 average with a .330 on base percentage, a .344 slug, and an .85 OPS plus. So about 15% below league average production. Not exactly fantastic. He did taper off a little bit throughout his career, and so far throughout his entire career, he's sitting at around an 85 OPS plus in total. So in total throughout his career, about 15% below league average production. But one thing I do want to point out with Pablo Reyes' career numbers is that he gets on base at a pretty decent clip for a guy who never really has a super high average, right? A .330 on base percentage with a .258 average in his 2 years with Milwaukee, it signifies a bit of production, at the very least at the bottom of an order. Now, like I said, before the Red Sox picked him up, Pablo Reyes was hitting with the AAA affiliate of the Oakland Athletics, where he was in an everyday role. During that time, Pablo Reyes had a .257 average with a really impressive .385 on base percentage. That's what I'm saying here. It's kind of been a trend throughout his career that, yeah, his batting average isn't going to be super exciting, but he is going to get on base at a pretty decent clip, which is exactly kind of what this Red Sox team needed at this time. He also had a .351 slug and a .736 OPS. Pablo was picked up right around the same time Christian Arroyo hit the IL, essentially replaced Bobby Dahlbeck at the major league level. Now, the reason for this is pretty clear, right? The Red Sox needed utility depth with Christian Arroyo down, with Yu Chang nowhere in sight in terms of coming back anytime soon, and obviously Mondesi and Story are still on their way back, so the Red Sox needed a depth piece, and boy did they get a depth piece in Pablo Reyes. Because since joining this Red Sox team, Pablo Reyes has been on absolute fire. So far, he's only played 5 games for this Red Sox team, and he only has 20 plate appearances, but in those 20 plate appearances, Pablo Reyes has a .421 average with a .450 on base percentage, a .579 slug, which equals a 1.029 OPS and a 176 OPS plus, which is insanely high, right? It's 76% higher than the average players in baseball. Not to mention, on top of that too, he also has a 5-game hitting streak. Every game he has played in with this Red Sox team, he's been able to get a hit. And it's not just that he's electric at the plate, a spark plug in the batter's box, it's also what he's doing on the field as well. Throughout Pablo Reyes' career, like we've mentioned, he's been a bit of a utility man, right? Kind of playing all over the place. He isn't great defensively in the outfield, with a career -4 defensive runs saved in the outfield in total. He is actually pretty decent at left field with a positive defensive run saved there, but really had a tough time in right field for some reason. However, his real strength comes when it comes to infield defense. Throughout his career, he has played first base, second base, third base, and shortstop, and every single one of them, he either is at league average or above league average in terms of defensive run saved. He does not have a single negative defensive run saved in any one of those position. And so far, what you are seeing on the field from Pablo Reyes has been absolutely fantastic, right? He's making leaping Air Jordan type catches at shortstop. He's making diving catches at second base. He's flipping double plays to Emmanuel Valdez. Basically, what I'm saying here is in every aspect of the game so far, Pablo Reyes has been a ton of fun to watch. Even with his speed, he's been a lot of fun. He had a bunt single the other day that was perfectly placed down the line. He's quick around the bases, and he uses his speed to an advantage, which is absolutely fantastic for this Red Sox team and has genuinely been a bit of a spark plug to this Red Sox offense. But what does all of this mean for Pablo Reyes, and what does all of this mean for the Boston Red Sox? I think obviously what Pablo Reyes is doing right now is fantastic news for this Red Sox team, because like we mentioned, Christian Arroyo's on the IL, Mondesi, Chang, Story, those are all guys who should be depth for this Red Sox team that are currently on the IL. To be able to bring a guy in like a Pablo Reyes and have him immediately produce for this Red Sox lineup and defensively for this Red Sox team has been absolutely fantastic. And I think a lot of that has to do with Pablo Reyes' mindset, who after he had a 4 RBI game in the Seattle series, did an interview with Nesson where he talked about what his mindset was going into games. This is what he said, quote, "I think I take every opportunity as my last game. I try to help my team on offense or defense, and that's my mentality since I came here. I just wanted to be able to help this team win, and I'm glad that I was able to do that so far." But does this mean Pablo Reyes is going to be a major producer for this team going forward? I would say probably not, right? I think that at some point he's going to level out, even out, and get back towards that league average production that we had been seeing throughout his entire career, but that doesn't mean he's not going to be a key contributor to this Red Sox team in the absence of all of these other guys. If Pablo Reyes does end up leveling out to average to below average offense, but he's still that electric kind of spark plug defender that we have seen so far from him in those small 5-game sample size, he's still going to be very valuable to the success of this Red Sox team. Like we mentioned when we did our video with Kike Hernandez, when Yu Chang was playing shortstop for the Boston Red Sox on a more regular basis, you were looking at a completely different landscape for this Red Sox defense, and that's kind of been the similar thing with Pablo Reyes. Now, I think Yu Chang ends up statistically being the better defender, but Pablo Reyes being in there and being a guy who is reliable in the middle infield of this Red Sox defense is absolutely huge, and it's something that I think is going to be really important going forward. Now, the biggest problem with Pablo Reyes and how he can be a contributor to this team is simply the amount of time he's going to be able to contribute to it, right? You've got Christian Arroyo coming back soon. You've got Chang making pretty good strides to come back to this Red Sox lineup. Story's ramping up in Florida, and honestly, I don't really know what's up with Mondesi, but I have to assume he's getting closer to getting back as well. The biggest sort of hurdle in terms of how Reyes is going to be able to truly contribute to this Red Sox team is going to come down to how much time he's actually going to get. In my opinion, he's going to get a pretty decent amount of time until Christian Arroyo comes back. Whether or not he's the DFA option when Christian Arroyo does come back is yet to be seen. I would assume he would be. He doesn't have any options left, so if he does get DFA'd, there's probably a pretty good chance he's not coming back to this Red Sox team. But if he does, that is fantastic depth that's going to be available for you whenever you want it in the minor leagues. But just because he may not be able to perform like this or perform in terms of being on this roster for the entire season doesn't mean he can't be a spark plug for this Red Sox offense, for this Red Sox defense, or for the Red Sox on the base pass during the small sample size that he's going to be able to contribute to this Red Sox team. Pablo Reyes could genuinely be a huge factor in whether or not the Boston Red Sox go on a bit of a winning streak here or can close out this West Coast road trip on a positive note. He could be a very key contributor for the Red Sox over in the West Coast, and I think overall this is just the type of situation that you sit back, you enjoy, because it reminds you that, hey, baseball is fun, right? Pablo Reyes comes out of nowhere. He's making leaping catches. He's having 4 RBI games. He's giving electric post-game interviews. That's the type of stuff that we kind of live for as Red Sox fans and as baseball fans in general. So do I think Pablo Reyes is a long-term solution for this Red Sox team? No. Do I think he's a ton of fun and a spark plug for this team at the moment? 100%. And that's why we're making a video about Pablo Reyes and where he came from. So in the comment section down below, let me know what you think of Pablo Reyes coming to this Red Sox team. What do you think of what he's been able to do on the field for the Red Sox so far? What do you see his role going forward in the future looking like? And what do you think about the depth on this Red Sox team? Because to me, it's been really impressive. Let me know all your thoughts on the Red Sox latest addition and latest spark plug, Pablo Reyes, in the comment section down below. As always, if you made it to the end of this video, do me a favor, make sure you guys have hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. If you're new here, we talk Red Sox content almost every single day. Also, make sure you guys have hit the like button as well. Helps these videos out a ton, and it would mean a lot to me. Thank you all one more time for 6,000 total subscribers. It is insane that I am able to say that. You guys are just the best in the entire world. Thank you so much. Thank you very much for clicking on this video, and I will see you in the red seats.